Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Thank you for joining me today. For those who have just joined me in the later episodes, just to kind of give you a little bit of an insight to how I do the tastings and why I do them. So, all of us whiskey drinkers generally start with the more basic whiskies, Glenfiddich 12, things like that, some blendeds even. And then, I started gravitating towards single malts. And after that, I started getting heavily addicted to independently bottled whiskies, independently bottled single malt whiskies to be exact. Why, you ask? And if you're wondering what the difference is between a distillery bottling and an independently bottled whiskey, please check out my, there's a link up top, please check out my, the difference between distillery bottling and independently bottling video. But in a nutshell, I try to review whiskies that are off the beaten path, not something that you'll find in every liquor shop, something that you'll have to maybe look for, search for, get it delivered to your door instead of just walking down to the local shop and getting it, okay? Because these whiskies are generally, they're not necessarily more expensive, they're just not mass produced and super common, and that's what I review, that's my passion, and that's my obsession. And look, whiskey and cigars, same with cigars as well, something a little bit off the beaten path. Is the hype worth it or not? All that kind of thing, and I'll tell you if it is. As you should probably notice by now, I am all about ceremony. It's like from opening the bottle to cutting the cigar to pouring to nosing. It's all about the ceremony for me as well. So yes, I am a little OCD, but that's just how it is. So today I am reviewing the Cadenhead blended malt 20-year-old creations. It is the light, fruity and smoky Cadenhead 20-year-old. Now it has one of these gold, or should I say copper bands to it, as you can see there. Now the copper band is just the 175th anniversary edition, so this was released as one of the first batches of creations, and now there's a couple more batches come out since then. In a nutshell, what they do, Cadenhead is an independent bottler. They have access to all sorts of different barrels, and this particular one the profile is light, fruity and smoky, and it consists of whiskies from Springbank, Longrow, Tobermory, Glenmurray, Glengarry, hope I said that right, and they were all vatted together in 2009. So very interesting to see. The color is not too dark, but the bottle, yeah, look, it's 45.2. I'm still going to do the water and no water sample, because at the end of the day, that's, it's always good to see if that's worthwhile. So let's water this one here. Usually I probably wouldn't at 45, but just for the sake of experimentation, I will do it. So let's get nosing. Definitely very fruity on the nose. I'm immediately getting fruitcake, immediately like a fruitcake flavor, sherry influence, cinnamon, nutmeg. But I do get a lot of vanilla as well, a lot of vanilla. Sickly sweet coconut. Very pleasant nose. And just to think that every single whiskey in this is 20 years old or over. That's quite an interesting one, that they blended all these malts together. I'm getting an apple pie. So I'm getting buttery pastry, apple pie, sugar, flour, pastry probably. I'm not getting the smoke. It's always interesting to see what you get with the description. Light, fruity, smoky. It's definitely light, it's definitely fruity, but smoky, I'm not getting that yet. Not getting that yet. Definitely fruity, Christmas cake, coconut, vanilla. Oh, got too excited. Let's nose the one with water. I'm getting a slight coastal influence on that. When I say coastal influence is an interesting thing. I'm talking more a little bit of iodine, seaweedy, slight umami, savory notes, but salty, a little salty sea spray. Close your eyes, be in front of the beach, and just smell that. That kind of coastal influence. Not too heavy, but I'm definitely getting coastal influence in there. A little bit of minerality as well, but not too much actually. It's actually very light and fruity. It seems like a very fruity dram. So let's try the one with no water. Wow. I don't know how the water sample is going to taste because that seems perfect. Fantastic. I'm getting a overripe fruit. I'd say I don't know what kind of fruit. Overripe. Look, probably overripe apricot in there. Sweetness, caramel, burnt caramel. Actually, burnt sugar. I get burnt sugar. And the smoke is coming through with the taste. In the nose, I'm not getting the smoke much, but now I am because I'm tasting it, obviously. So it's kind of overwhelming. Not overwhelming, but it's kind of swamped me now. But there is a slight smoky taste to it. Just very slight. A very slight waxiness to it. Fruit is the overwhelming factor. It's buttery, not oily, but buttery. I know if that makes sense, but it's got like a creaminess to it. It's apple pie through and through. It's like someone has just given me an apple pie with a bit of cream. Outstanding. Look at that. It's so good. The birds are chirping. It's fantastic. Listen to that. Yeah. Cheers. So there's no rough around the edges here, which is strange. Cadenhead is known for their rustic, slightly dirty bottling, which I love. This is very refined, very civilized actually. That's probably because of the blended malt. The blended malt, generally they taper off any rough edges and rounds them, and that's probably what it's given you. I mean, look, it's outstanding so far. I'm getting a little bit of a smokiness at the end of it, slight kind of burning wood, just a faint burning wood, you know, when you're approaching a house with fire. Just that very faint smoke. So it's smoky, but I wouldn't say that that's one of the main features. It's very slightly. Definitely very fruity. So let's try sample with water. Wow. Okay, so with water, sweetness comes through more, fruitiness comes through more. With water, I'm getting a yogurt in there, like a yogurt, like a strawberry raspberry yogurt, the sickly sweetness of that yogurt in there with water. Actually, that changed quite a lot, which is surprising. The smoke does subside a little bit with water, and the coastal influence seems to be coming through a little bit more with water. Fascinating. But for a Cadenhead expression, very refined, not at all, not in any shape or form dirty, which a little disappointing for me, because I'm not getting that Dunnage Warehouse from Cadenhead too much, or the Springbank a little bit, but that it's not really that much there. It's more the smoke that's there. There's no dirtiness, which I like. But in saying that, this particular whiskey is probably going to be about 80 to 90 US dollars. I guess it's 80 to 100 US dollars max. And that's because it's blended. So even though it's 20 years old, it's blended, so it doesn't hold that price of single malt. But it is well worth the buy. Yes, go and buy it. Find it, Google Cadenhead Creations and buy it. Why? Because you would go to a duty-free shop and you'll go and buy a Johnny Walker gold label for probably a similar price, or a platinum for a similar price at 18 years, the platinum, and there's no way that has anything on this. This here has so much more character profiles, and it's just a much more compelling whiskey. So I suggest that. In terms of cigars, pretty sweet, pretty soft. I'd say either or, you can You can go super oily, super peppery, Maduro, super thick, whatever it may be. Go for it. Pretty versatile, because this is a pretty light dram, but full of character. Light but full of character. So do whatever you want with cigars. It doesn't matter. Thank you for joining us today, and please hit subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions on, what you want to know about whiskies, please let me know. And if you have tried this before or have any questions about it, please ask away. And don't forget to hit that bell. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.